Your Honor, if I could, I'm here on behalf of my client, Mr. Joseph Tootle. We filed a complaint for absolute divorce in this matter. It's a very, very short-term marriage. The parties were just married in September of 2023. And what we have, Your Honor, is that the crux of this case, and really the only asset of this marriage, comes down to the parties prior to their marriage purchased a home at 1047 Yellow Creek Highway. My client put down a significant down payment on the home. Well, the down payment was put prior to the marriage, and the purchase was right after the parties married. The property is approximately between $700,000 and $800,000 home, has a significant mortgage on it. What we're asking, Your Honor, is for exclusive possession of the home. Mrs. Botnick, again, this is a short-term marriage. Mrs. Botnick has 3 children from prior relationships. In fact, she was with child at the time of the party's marriage that is not my client's child. And she has just finished another custody matter with that child's father. And again, she's not contributing financially. They purchased a vehicle that she is driving, and we are asking that she and the children, and she's allowed her mother, Miss Carol Ledford, to move into the home also. So there's 6 people cohabitating in this home, and my client is having to pay all of meet the financial responsibility of the home. So it's our request that she be ordered to vacate the premises, or in the alternative, given the fact that herself, her 3 children, and her mother are living there, that my client pays 1/6 and she pays 5/6 of all the expenses associated with the home. The home, again, we're going to have an issue. The home has just been purchased. It's very unlikely that there's significant equity. She is not in a position, it's our claim that she's not in a position to buy my client out of the home or get the home refinanced into her own name. But she is not contributing, and she has now begun having extramarital relations, and as a result of that, we want her out of the house.
Your Honor, just briefly, parties were married September 4th, 2023. The home that they currently reside in was purchased, conveyed to both of them as husband and wife, Joseph Tootle and Jordan Botnick, by warranty deed executed September 26, 2023, recorded with the Register of Deeds September 29th, 2023. The approximate purchase price was $800,000. 20% was paid down, which is approximately $160,000. Mr. Tootle makes a significantly higher income than Ms. Botnick. With respect to her children who live there, Mr. Tootle was fully aware that Ms. Botnick had children when they married, fully aware that they would be moving into the residence. And with respect to Ms. Botnick's mother, he agreed that she could move into the residence. Our position, Your Honor, is that the house is a marital residence. Mr. Tootle has significantly more income than Ms. Botnick, and we have filed before the court today is a motion to sell the marital residence, and we would propose that upon its sale, the net proceeds be paid into court, and then we can proceed with the divorce in that regard. But I would submit to the court there's no basis to grant Mr. Tootle exclusive possession of the marital home. Ms. Botnick's name is on the deed. It's a marital asset, and submit that she's entitled to reside there just as much as he is.
All right. Look around, please. Raise your right hand, be placed under oath.
State your name, please, ma'am.
Jordan Lindsay Bachnick,
And Ms. Boddick, where do you work?
Envision Healthcare.
And what do you do for Envision Healthcare?
I'm an AP specialist.
And
Well,
what,
please scoot up a little bit towards that
Sorry.
microphone so we make sure it's picking
I'm
up.
an AP specialist,
and what does that mean?
accounts payable. I work for the same company as Joseph.
And what is your rate of pay?
22 an hour.
You work 40 hours a week,
Yes, ma'am.
and you have 3 children by how many different men?
3.
And how much child support do you get?
I get for child support 1 kid and $697.
$697 for what child?
1 child, and I don't get child support from the other 2.
What child do you get the 190?
Sailor, the
And how-
baby.
And who is Sailor's father?
Nick Ellis.
And that's your youngest child?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were in fact pregnant with Sailor at the time that you married?
No,
Or right after you had just had the child?
I just had him. He was born in June and I got married in September.
Okay. And what sort, you have just settled a lawsuit on paternity with Mr. Ellis?
Yes,
And when was that done? At the point in time, did you admit to your husband that you only married him for financial security?
no,
You sure about that?
yes,
That's your statement under oath?
yes,
Did you threaten, at the point in time when he told you he wanted a divorce, did you threaten to throw yourself against the wall so that you could get an order of protection and kick him out of the house?
no,
You allowing your children to, have you allowed any of your minor children to operate any motor vehicle in and around the property?
I let my son drive down the driveway.
And he ran over shrubs and things, is that correct?
1 shrub.
And that's your 12-year-old or your 10-year-old?
I let my 10-year-old.
Your 10-year-old's driving a vehicle that caused some slight damage to the property, is that correct?
He drove down the driveway and ran over a shrub.
Did you replace it? Okay. Do you allow your children to shoot arrows into the drywall of the
No.
home? You didn't sit there and videotape it and laugh
I
at it?
videotaped my son shooting an arrow into a cardboard box.
Not into the garage and damaging the property?
No,
Have you contributed to the house payment?
no,
Why not?
because I'm paying for everything else.
What is everything else that you're paying for?
Groceries to stay in the house, and I pay for all my kids, groceries, clothes, and I filled out a form, basically showing what I do pay for.
Pay any of the utilities?
No,
Pay any insurance on the vehicle you're driving?
yes,
You pay for your insurance
I pay for my insurance
and your vehicle?
on
What
my
kind of-
vehicle,
What kind of vehicle are you driving?
a Tahoe.
2021 Chevy Tahoe?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much are the payments on that?
A little over 1,000.
Who's making those payments?
I am.
When did you start making those payments?
2 months ago. I've made 3 payments so far. So 3 months now.
When did you purchase that vehicle?
August 22nd of 23.
You acknowledge that the down payment on the home came from his separate funds, do you not?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. That calls for a legal conclusion.
I'm sorry?
I object. That calls for a legal conclusion as to what separate funds are.
I'll rephrase the question. Did you have any money before y'all, when the contract was made on this house?
I had my own money.
How much did you have?
At the time, I don't recall how much I had.
Did you pay $160,000 down on this house?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
No, I didn't put money down on the
Okay,
house.
why did you say you don't recall?
Well, to your question before that,
Objection asked and answered.
no, I did not pay money on the house.
You know that your husband had money that he put down on this house that was not your money.
Right. After we were married, though, he paid money on the house.
And he paid for your attorney, for your paternity actions too, didn't he?
He helped pay for my attorney with Nick.
And how much was that?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. I think that's privileged.
Object on what basis?
Privilege? I mean, the third party may have paid it. They're married.
And you're talking about your attorney-client privilege?
Yeah, number one, I don't think it's relevant.
Now we're talking relevance instead of privilege.
Well, Judge, I think what a client pays an attorney and the third party pays it,
I understand your point, Mr. Odell. And again, we're talking economics of two people who have been married for a short period of time. You will be able to ask questions of him regarding any expenditures he's made. And my understanding is that these questions are being asked to demonstrate the financial contributions each of them have made to the household. Because one of the motions that we have before the court today is the motion for exclusive possession of the marital residence, and that entails who's going to pay the mortgage for that. There's also a motion for a temporary division of marital debt, which is on the docket. So all of these issues are relevant on the issues that are before the court. She's not required to testify about any direct conversations that she may have with her attorney, but the question of if there were marital funds or his separate funds that were used to pay for her attorney, then for whatever relevance, whatever weight that is, I think it is relevant on the issue before the court.
Please repeat the question.
Who paid for your attorney?
Joseph did.
Did you ask him to do that
He offered to help me out.
when you got sued?
I didn't get sued.
Did you file the paternity suit, or did Mr. Ellis sue you? Did you sue
We
him?
agreed upon it. I didn't get sued.
He didn't file a petition against you,
Yes.
so you got sued.
Okay, I didn't know that was being sued.
Yes, ma'am. He filed a petition to establish paternity, Mr. Ellis did,
Okay.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you asked your husband for help in securing counsel for that, is that correct?
He offered.
Have you ever contributed anything to, other than paying for your children's food, have you ever contributed anything to the mortgage, to the utilities, to the down payment on this house, or the payment of insurance or taxes on this house at all?
No, ma'am.
That's all. And Mr. Tootle, you married Ms. Erin Botnick back in September of 2023, is that correct?
That's correct.
How long had you known her prior to y'all's marriage?
Roughly 7 years.
And do y'all work at the same
We do.
company?
We do.
And what is your role at the company at Envision?
I'm VP of Accounting Information Systems.
Were you her direct supervisor?
No,
And y'all became acquainted through your employment, is that correct?
I knew her prior to employment. I helped her get the job.
Okay, how did you know her prior to the employment?
I met her at her work when she worked at Twin Peaks.
At where?
Twin Peaks
Twin Peaks is a bar
Bar and Restaurant.
and restaurant, and we'll just leave it, why the name of that, but at any rate, you met her there and got her a job. Did y'all start a romantic relationship at that point in time?
I helped her get a job probably about 2 years ago. We kind of hung out some in between there, from time of meeting till she got the job at our company.
And when did y'all become romantically involved?
Throughout the time I've known her, different instances.
And she was having relations with other people during that time too, particularly?
objection leading.
Correct.
And you,
Well, the question is sustained, it was leading, restate your question.
are you aware of whether or not, did y'all have an exclusive relationship?
We did not.
At what point in time did marriage come into the picture?
Roughly somewhere in July,
Okay.
after she had had her child.
Okay. Did you ask her to marry, or was it just a, hey, let's do this? I mean, what was the?
We decided to date, and then as we started dating, we decided that after knowing each other for a period of time, that was the right move to make at that time, because she stated she was in love and wanted to be with me.
Okay. And as a result of that, where were you living at the time?
In Franklin
And where was she living?
and Dixon.
And did she have a home?
She had an apartment.
And did you have a home?
I did.
One that you owned?
No, sorry, I was in an apartment as well.
Okay, you rented and she rented. is
She
that
rented and I
correct?
rented, correct.
Okay. And so y'all decided to she professed her love and you hers, and y'all decided to get married, and did you start looking for a place to live?
Started looking for a place prior to that. somewhere in July. We talked about looking for a place, so we were looking prior to being married.
Okay. And you found a home on Yellow Creek Highway,
Correct.
okay? And it's a very nice home. When y'all purchased it, did you enter into a contract prior
And
to?
don't leave it with us.
When did you enter into a contract to purchase the property?
In August. And I put down earnest money in August.
How much did you put down?
It's $10,000 in earnest money
And then when was the closing scheduled?
for September 26th,
And y'all married when?
September 4th.
And on the 26th, was there a closing on that piece of property?
Correct, there
Was
was.
it placed in joint names?
Yes,
Was there money put down on the house?
roughly 160 plus the 10,000.
And where was the source of that money?
Came from my income. 120 was in savings, 40 I took a loan against my 401k.
Is there still a loan on the 401k?
Yes. Comes out of my paycheck month.
How much did y'all purchase the home for?
It was 760,
And what is the monthly payments?
4,200. That doesn't include insurance and taxes.
And that's going to be my next. Was insurance and taxes escrowed in?
It was not escrowed in.
So other than when you purchased it in September, the down payment that you made, are you familiar with any other increases in value or any improvements to the property that's been made that would increase it significantly from what the purchase price was?
There's been no improvements to the property.
Did both of you sign the mortgage?
I'm the only one on the mortgage.
Do you know why?
It was better to qualify for interest rate under my income than using both.
So even though
That's
the
what-
house is in joint names, the mortgage is only in your name?
Correct.
Now, shortly did you know how much she makes?
Roughly
What is that?
around 22. I think when she got the job it was around 21, and there's been raises since then.
And how much do you make, sir?
Around to 190.
You've assisted me,
And that's without bonus, but bonus isn't guaranteed, so
you have assisted me in filling out an income and expense statement, is that correct?
that's correct.
Could you pass this to him? The officer's gonna pass you one, and Your Honor, we'll mark this for ID purposes at this point in time.
All right.
Could you review that? Does that adequately and reflect what what your income and your expenses are?
Yes,
So again, what you're looking at is you gross about $14,000 a month, is that right?
yes,
Okay. And then the expenses that are spelled out, the rent, the mortgage is $4,200, is that correct?
that's correct.
And how did you come up with the utilities? Are those just an average of what?
That was the average of what we'd had thus far, but again, this was in January, so there's only a couple of months to average it.
Right, so again, you've got the electricity and the gas, you have gas heat, correct?
We have gas, electric, water, yes.
Okay, and so again, with the summer and the air conditioning things, those are likely to go up, is that correct?
Objection leading.
Do you
So
know
you
what
don't
the,
leave the
I'll
witness.
rephrase it. Do you think that these will be consistent or will they fluctuate?
Gas will probably go down, electric will probably go up.
Why have you got wife's telephone? Is that just
At
her?
the time I filed, I was paying her phone bill. She used my credit card multiple times after I'd paid it once
Okay.
to pay it.
And then again, the rest of these are average expenses, is that right?
That's right. And the only thing on here I haven't been paying is the Tahoe. I stopped paying it in January.
And that's the 1,050, and that's the vehicle
correct.
she's driving. Had you previously paid it?
I'd been paying it since we bought it.
And when was it purchased?
We purchased it in August.
Right before the marriage?
Right before the marriage.
Whose name is it in?
It's in both of our names because she couldn't qualify on her own for it
Okay.
with a good interest rate.
Okay. And so again, looking at that, you're basically barely breaking even if you take away the $1,000.
I was until she started paying her bills.
Okay, until she started paying her bills. Okay. Tell me what's led to you Your Honor, we'll move that in as the next exhibit.
Mark is This
What's
is the
led you-
first exhibit, is it not?
Yes, that first one. What's led to you filing this divorce, sir?
We started having issues in October, which was relatively shortly after being married. She even told me that her therapist and her had discovered that through their therapy that she wasn't really in love with me and that she wanted consistency and stability for her kids and thought that she could love me over time. At that point in time, we talked about getting a divorce. We tried to work it out multiple times and we kind of wound up back at the same spot.
So she had to go to therapy to figure out she didn't love you?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Has she contributed anything financially to this marriage?
Other than groceries for her and her kids, no.
What about has she made any threats towards you?
Multiple.
Tell me about those.
We got into an argument. Coming back
Verbal argument, physical argument, what?
verbal argument. I'm not a physical person. And we talked about, in that argument, divorce came up and she wanted me out of the house. She said she would throw herself against the wall and call the cops, say I did it. That was one occasion. Another occasion, she threatened, or she said she'd called the cops. So I said I'd come to the house, wait for the cops to get there. They never came. Recently, as 2 weeks ago, she said that she was going to call the cops, that I'd hit her in front of her 12-year-old. Which obviously I didn't. So multiple times that's happened. To the point where I had to get a camera for the room I stay in to make sure that anything would be videoed to show that I'm not a physical.
And as well,
I
because
didn't ask what he did. I asked, why do you want it sold?
Or if my client could answer the question.
I agree.
I don't think she's asking the question, she's answering the question. She's saying that he wanted it sold too, but the question is, why does she want it sold? So.
Right. because that was a house we were married in. And if I'm leaving, then we both move on. I want the house sold.
But just in revenge.
No, definitely not revenge. I'm not vindictive like that.
Okay. Well, you put this income and expense statement for whatever the truth of it is, that you don't have,
Staying on the sidebar comments, don't make sidebar comments.
you're stating that you only have $3,912 a month to support you, your 3 kids, and your mother.
Right,
And you're gonna sell a home that you've not contributed to whatsoever, correct?
right,
And you're going to have that listed for sale, so there's gonna be a sales commission that's gonna be paid on it, correct?
correct,
And then you're going to have capital gains tax on any income that you derived from that, correct? Did you know that?
okay, correct.
And so again, it's certainly not for financial gain that you think you're gonna sell the house, is it?
Well, the divorce is gonna end us. We're not gonna be together anymore, and I want a fresh start. He will want a fresh start, and I want the house sold.
Because you want the money, right?
Not necessarily, no.
Now, in your income and expense statement, you use $3,912.46 is what your income is. But again, you're making $22 an hour.
Right,
So that's $45,000 and some change a year, correct? $45,760 a year.
yes,
So you divide that out, and I divided by 52 weeks, and that's $3,813.
okay.
Where did you, and do you make any overtime or anything else?
No, we're not allowed overtime.
But this income that you've got up here, this monthly income before taxes, does not include the $687, the $780, or the $599, which is an additional $2,066. Isn't that correct?
If that's what you have on there.
Well, you don't have it on there. I added it up. But if you look down at the bottom, monthly court order child support, $687.
And also, it's not consistent. I mentioned why.
You didn't put that on, that's not included in this number, is it?
Is it not?
Is it or is it not? This is what you've introduced as your income, ma'am.
It's not introduced
Okay.
because it's not consistent, because he doesn't have a job half the time, his father.
Well, see, I asked you, when I called you on direct examination, I asked you what child support you get, and you know what your testimony was?
Yes, and I told you.
No, you just said I only get it for Sailor. You get $687.
Right.
You didn't mention that you got it for Bryson.
Because I hardly get it.
Well, when was the last time you got it?
Last
Month?
No, let me finish, please. I got it probably back in October of 2023. And I can show proof of that.
Have you instituted any cases against him to
Oh,
try to collect the
absolutely.
money?
Well, it's kind of pointless because it's already garnished out of his wages, and it would cost me money that I don't really have to fight him. And
So you would instead let somebody who's not the father of your child support you and provide a home for you than to go get money from the person who's supposed to be supporting that child?
well, he does work sometimes, and when he does, I do get money for Bryson. So, and I'm doing what I can. Make sure he has everything he needs.
You're doing what you can.
Right, for my kids.
This hearing was never really about the house. On the surface, it looked like a standard divorce dispute over a marital residence. But as the testimony unfolded, it became painfully clear that this case was about intent, contribution, and credibility. And by the end of the questioning, the imbalance in this marriage was impossible to ignore. Mr. Tuttle walked into this courtroom asking for one simple thing: fairness. A short-term marriage, barely weeks old before it started falling apart, had placed him in a financial and emotional position that no court would take lightly. The home at 1047 Yellow Creek Highway wasn't just expensive. It was nearly an $800,000 property with a mortgage payment north of $4,200 a month, not including taxes or insurance. And despite the house being titled jointly, the reality was clear. He alone qualified for the mortgage, he alone signed it, and he alone paid for it. From the down payment forward, the numbers told the story. $160,000 down payment, $120,000 from savings, and $40,000 borrowed against a 401k, all came from Mr. Tuttle. There were no improvements made to the home, no equity built, no shared financial investment, just a brand new mortgage and a financial burden carried by one person. On the other side of that equation sat Miss Backnick, earning $22 an hour, receiving limited child support for only one of her 3 children, and contributing nothing toward the mortgage, utilities, insurance, or taxes. Her financial contribution stopped at groceries for herself and her children. Even the vehicle she drove, a 2021 Chevy Tahoe with a $1,000 monthly payment, was initially paid for by Mr. Tuttle until he stopped covering it earlier this year. And yet, 6 people lived in that home. Miss Backnick, her 3 children, her mother, and Mr. Tuttle himself, who paid for all of it while increasingly living under threat. The court heard testimony that went beyond finances. Allegations of threats to falsely accuse him of domestic violence, threats to call the police, and statements that forced Mr. Tuttle to install cameras in his own home for protection. Whether those threats resulted in formal action or not, their existence mattered. They spoke directly to the issue of exclusive possession and whether it was safe or reasonable for this situation to continue. Miss Backnick's testimony raised further concerns. A 10-year-old allowed to drive a vehicle on the property. Property damage dismissed casually as one shrub. Allegations of arrows being shot inside the home. None of these incidents alone might decide a case, but together they painted a picture of disorder inside a residence being entirely financed by one party. Then came the issue of intent. Miss Backnick acknowledged that when the relationship began, it was not exclusive, that she had recently given birth shortly before the marriage, that paternity litigation involving another man occurred during the marriage, and that Mr. Tuttle paid for her attorney. When questioned about whether she had married for financial security, she denied it. But denial alone does not erase circumstance. The judge's questions cut directly to the heart of the matter. Why sell a home you never contributed to? Why force liquidation when no equity exists and the only guaranteed outcome is financial harm? The answer offered, so we can both move on, rang hollow against the reality of the numbers. This was not a long marriage built on shared sacrifice. This was a brief legal union followed almost immediately by emotional separation. Therapy revelations that love was never truly present. A confession that stability, not partnership, was the goal. And a financial arrangement where one party paid for nearly everything while receiving little in return. Courts do not ignore deeds. But courts also do not ignore facts. And while the house may legally be a marital asset, equity in law does not always mean equity in fairness. What stood out most was not the dollar figures, though they were staggering. It was the imbalance. One party earning nearly $190,000 a year, carrying the full weight of a household, while the other sought to maintain possession or force a sale without having shared that burden. The court was left to weigh title against contribution, legal rights against practical reality. This case serves as a sharp reminder: marriage does not automatically convert effort into equality. Timing matters. Intent matters. Contribution matters. And when a marriage collapses almost as quickly as it begins, courts are forced to look past labels and into substance. As this hearing closed, the questions left hanging weren't just about who stays in the house. They were about accountability, about whether fairness demands equal access or proportional responsibility, and about whether the law should protect not just ownership, but the person who carried the weight of the marriage from day one. In the end, this wasn't just a divorce hearing, it was a reality check.